Imagine a peaceful small town where crime is rare and neighbors know each other by name. Now imagine waking up one morning to find one of those neighbors, kind, beloved, harmless, savagely murdered. Not once, not twice, but 54 times. No forced entry. No theft. No suspects. And worse, no motive. This isn't fiction. This is the chilling, unsolved story of 27-year-old Emily Sanderson. A woman with no enemies. A woman who, on a warm spring night, was stabbed over 50 times in her own home. No one heard a scream. No cameras caught anyone leaving. And to this day, the case remains a grotesque mystery of overkill with no known cause. This is stabbed 54 times, and still no motive. Welcome back to True Crime Hub, where we dive deep into the most haunting, unsolved, and emotionally jarring crimes that continue to haunt investigators and families alike. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this one. Emily Jane Sanderson was the kind of person who made you believe the world still had good in it. Born on January 3, 1995, in the tranquil town of Willoughby, Oregon, she was raised by her parents, Alan and Linda Sanderson, longtime residents who owned a local bakery. Emily grew up surrounded by love, cinnamon rolls, and small-town values. In high school, she was voted most likely to make you smile. Teachers adored her, classmates leaned on her, and even the school janitor kept a photo of her with a big grin taped to his broom closet door. She had given it to him on his birthday, along with a cupcake. She went on to attend Oregon State University, where she majored in early childhood education. Her dream wasn't to be rich or famous. It was to help kids feel safe, loved, and heard. After college, she returned home to teach at Willoughby Preschool, just a short walk from her modest little home on Maple Avenue. Emily was the kind of woman who remembered your birthday and your dog's birthday. She would help elderly neighbors carry groceries, volunteer at the food bank every Saturday, and organize holiday drives for single parents. She lived alone but was rarely lonely. Her circle included her sister Hannah, her best friend from college Jess, several colleagues, and a few casual dating partners, but nothing serious since her breakup 2 years prior. Emily loved yoga, red wine, puzzles, and true crime podcasts. Her favorite show was ironically Criminal Minds, and she once joked, "I'd make a terrible victim. I always lock my doors and double-check everything." And that's what made what happened to her so disturbing, so impossible to understand. Our April 17th, 2022, was a Sunday. Emily had brunch with her sister at a local diner. Witnesses recall seeing the two laughing over pancakes and mimosas. Hannah later told investigators that Emily had been excited about a new art class she planned to start that week. After brunch, Emily stopped by the grocery store, chatted with her neighbor Martha about planting hydrangeas, then returned home around 3:30 p.m. Her phone logs show a 32-minute call with Jess, discussing vacation plans to Seattle. She posted a photo of her cat, Pickle, lounging in the sun with the caption, "This is the life." At 7 p.m., she logged into a Zoom meeting with the school board, her last appearance on camera. Everything seemed normal. She signed off by 8:10 p.m. By 9:52 p.m., she sent her final text, "Good night, sis. Love you." No one heard from her after that. A Monday, April 18th, began like any other day in Willoughby, except Emily never arrived at the preschool. Her absence was alarming. Not just unusual. Alarming. By 11 a.m., calls were made. By 2:30 p.m., Hannah was driving to her sister's house. She knocked. No answer. She called. Nothing. She walked around the back. The screen door was ajar. She hesitated, heart pounding, and pushed it open. What she saw would never leave her. Emily was lying on the floor, pale and lifeless. Her pajamas were soaked in blood. The walls had spatter marks. Her hands were stiff at her sides. She'd been stabbed so many times that the coroner said her body looked more like a brutalized canvas than a person. Hannah ran outside, screaming for help. The police arrived within 6 minutes. The living room was a slaughterhouse. Investigators found 54 stab wounds. They were wild and erratic, some superficial, others deep. The attack was furious, frenzied. It wasn't clean. It wasn't calculated. It was rage made flesh. Yet, there was no sign of forced entry. No broken windows. No jimmied locks. No overturned furniture. Her phone, laptop, and wallet were untouched. No valuables missing. Even her jewelry box sat in plain sight, undisturbed. No blood outside the home. No footprints. No foreign DNA. Not even a hair that didn't match hers. The killer had come in, killed her savagely, and left without leaving a single trace. Emily's autopsy confirmed the worst. She had defensive wounds on her hands and arms, meaning she fought hard. Her fingernails were broken. Blood had pooled around her from multiple fatal wounds to the chest and abdomen. One stab punctured her heart. Toxicology reports showed no drugs, no alcohol, no sign of being subdued. Coroner Dr. Denise LaCroix, a 22-year veteran, told the media, "I've seen horrifying things. But this was the kind of killing you usually only see in war or psychosis." Investigators canvassed the neighborhood. No one saw anything. No dogs barked. No alarms went off. A timeline was constructed. Her goodnight text went out at 9:52 p.m. She was likely killed between 10:15 and 10:45 p.m. And somehow, the killer came and left invisible. Detectives began with the obvious romantic partners. Exes, co-workers, friends, anyone with a grievance. Her last boyfriend, Zachary Kane, had moved out of state 8 months ago. He had receipts and FaceTime logs placing him in Kansas. Her co-worker Lisa, who once had tension with Emily over a promotion, had an airtight alibi. Her former landlord had been in the hospital recovering from surgery. Polygraphs were administered. Alibis checked. GPS records combed. Nothing. There were no threats, no restraining orders, no calls to police. No whispers among friends of someone dangerous. Even her dating app chats were mundane. It was as if someone had plucked a random person and unleashed 54 stabs of unexplained violence. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, BAU, was brought in. Their findings: the killer was likely male, familiar with the layout of the house. The overkill pointed to personal rage, but no known grudge. Likely someone emotionally unstable, possibly obsessive. Could have known Emily in passing, gym, coffee shop, grocery store. The clean escape suggested experience or military background. They released a public profile, but no suspect matched it closely enough. And so, the case began to grow cold. In the days after Emily Sanderson's murder, Willoughby changed. Fear settled over the town like a storm cloud. Parents walked their kids to school. Deadbolts were purchased in bulk. Gun permits saw a sudden rise. Local businesses closed early. Neighborhood watch groups formed overnight. For the first time in years, Willoughby residents didn't feel safe, because if someone like Emily could be killed, no one was truly safe. Whispers filled the local cafe, the grocery aisle, the church pews. Theories ranged from a secret lover to a traveling psychopath. But no one had answers. And as time passed, silence became suffocating. Hannah Sanderson refused to let the case go cold. Just 2 weeks after her sister's funeral, she hired retired homicide detective Marcus Vale. Vale reviewed the case files, visited the crime scene, and conducted fresh interviews. He fixated on the lack of blood trail, suggesting the killer cleaned up or was never bloody to begin with. He also questioned a strange detail. The overhead light in Emily's living room was off, but the corner lamp was on. Someone wanted just enough light to see, but not to be seen, he told local news. Vale theorized that Emily may have known the killer, someone she let in willingly. Still, the killer remained a ghost. Reddit threads and YouTube deep dives exploded. True crime communities dissected every known fact. One theory suggested Emily was targeted by a serial killer who had killed similarly in another state. Another claimed it was someone from her past, a bullied classmate, a disgruntled parent, even a former student's sibling. A user known as WBY Watcher posted a chilling theory. What if it was someone living in her walls? It sounded absurd, until another user posted a case from Colorado where a man was found squatting inside a woman's attic for months. But no physical evidence ever surfaced to support those theories. 6 months after the murder, Hannah received an unmarked envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper. She was perfect. Too perfect. I just wanted to see what would happen if I ruined something beautiful. No signature. No fingerprints. The envelope had no return address and had been mailed from a town 80 miles away. Forensics could not identify any traceable evidence. The letter was real. And terrifying. On the 1-year anniversary, the town gathered at the park for a candlelight vigil. Hannah gave a tearful speech. Emily's former students released white balloons. That same week, Dateline aired a special. Online interest exploded. Dozens of new tips came in. Most went nowhere, but one stood out. A woman from a neighboring county claimed she had seen a man watching Emily's house weeks before the murder, someone who gave her a bad feeling. A sketch was made. No match, but it kept the case alive. 15 months after Emily's death, another young woman was found stabbed to death in Idaho. Her name was Natalie Pierce. The wounds, 47 stab marks. Entry through an unlocked back door. No theft. No DNA. The cases were eerily similar. FBI reopened Emily's file with fresh urgency. But then, it was discovered Natalie had a jealous ex who confessed under pressure. He was arrested. Emily's killer, still unknown. FBI profilers returned with updated insights. Killer likely male, 25 to 40. May have known Emily casually, coffee shop, gym, grocery store. Exhibited signs of extreme emotional detachment or psychosis. Highly organized during exit, but emotionally explosive during attack. They suggested someone who experienced a perceived slight and acted with disproportionate violence. It wasn't hate. It was obsession. Marcus Vail proposed a chilling new theory. What if Emily was killed by a hired hitman? Stabbing isn't typical for contracts, Vail said, but neither is a spotless crime scene. He dug into Emily's school district and discovered she had testified anonymously in an internal investigation over misuse of funds. Could someone have seen her as a liability? No evidence linked this to her murder. But the district went under audit months later. In September 2023, a former delivery driver named Tony Delgado came forward. He claimed to have seen a man leaving Maple Avenue the night of the murder, wearing a hoodie, walking calmly. Tony didn't report it earlier because he didn't think it mattered. But his description matched the sketch from the woman a year earlier. Still, no match in any database. A new forensic expert reanalyzed the crime scene. He found that the pattern of blood near the door suggested the killer may have paused, possibly to clean himself or hesitate. And there was a minute of internet activity on Emily's laptop, 10:41 p.m., when she was likely already dead. Someone closed a tab. Was the killer reading something? Was Emily Googling something in her last moments? We may never know. In May 2024, the Willoughby PD submitted the case to the National Unsolved Mysteries Archive. It joined a list of violent crimes with no motive, no suspect, and no closure. Emily's face appeared alongside others lost in silence. The only difference was, her killer had sent a letter. The mystery now haunted more than just her town. It haunted the nation. In a raw, heart-wrenching podcast, Hannah gave one final interview. I don't know if we'll ever get justice, but I won't stop. Emily was the best part of this world, and someone took her from us, for no reason we can understand. She revealed something chilling. Someone had left a single white flower on Emily's porch last Christmas. No note, no witnesses, just the flower. Experts say yes. Advances in DNA recovery, cold case funding, AI-based profiling. But the truth is, time makes it harder. Emily's file is still open. Her name still lingers in the air of Willoughby. And somewhere out there, her killer is still walking free. Emily Sanderson did everything right. She lived kindly. She gave more than she took. She deserved the safety of her home. But she never got it. Someone took 54 pieces of her life and left 1,000 unanswered questions. And the most haunting of all, no one knows why. If you have information about the murder of Emily Sanderson, contact Willoughby Police Department. Tips can remain anonymous. If this story disturbed you, moved you, or left you thinking, share it. Let Emily's story echo beyond the shadows of her empty living room. Justice may be silent now, but silence doesn't mean peace. Subscribe for more haunting stories from True Crime Hub, because every unsolved case deserves to be heard.